Call the city council meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cadella. Alderman Coles.
Here.
Alderman Lewitton.
Here.
Alderman Felice.
Here.
Alderman Shockey.
Here.
Alderman Eugene Shockey. Oh,
Here.
boy. Eugene Wesley. Roy Wesley. Be quiet down there. Alderman Winger. Here. Mayor Johnson.
Here. Quorum being present, would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? May I have a motion to approve the minutes of November 5th, 2009?
So moved. Second.
Second. Any comments, corrections, additions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Council, without objection, I'm going to skip down to Mayor's report. First item I have is a proclamation. Whereas an accurate census count is vital to our community and residents' well-being by helping planners determine where to locate schools, daycare centers, roads, and public transportation, hospitals, and other facilities, and is used to make decisions concerning business growth and housing needs. And whereas more than $300 billion per year in federal and state funding is allocated to states and communities based on census data, and whereas census data ensure fair congressional representation by determining how many seats each state will have in the U.S. House of Representatives, as well as the redistricting of state legislatures, county and city councils, and voting districts. And whereas the 2010 census creates jobs that stimulate economic growth and increase employment opportunities in our community, whereas the information collected by the census is protected by law and remains confidential for 72 years. Why 72 years?
Everybody be dead by then.
Now therefore, I, Kenneth P. Johnson, Mayor of the City of Wooddale, do hereby proclaim that the City of Wooddale is committed to partnering with the U.S. Census Bureau to help ensure a full and accurate count in 2010, and will disseminate 2010 census information to encourage those in our community to participate, support census takers as they help our community complete an accurate count, create and/or seek opportunities to collaborate with other like-minded groups in our community, such as the Complete Count Committees, to utilize high-profile, trusted voices to advocate on behalf of the 2010 census dated November 19th, 2009. And that brings us to the second item on agenda, which is a donation request we received from the BWFCA Bandits football and cheerleading team. And I would like to recognize Sue Crady and the team. If you would go to the podium, please, guys.
Okay, two over here, over here, over here, over here. Okay, I'd just like to introduce some of the boys from the Bandits team from the Wooddale, Bensonville area. This is a Pop Warner football league, and they are the Chicagoland champions. And so they're going in on Sunday to Indianapolis to play in a semi-regional playoff game. And if they win that game, then they're going to the regionals in Michigan. So I want to introduce, starting off right over here, introduce your name.
Hi, my name is Clay.
And you are going to have to go to the mic time, and that will also give you some TV time as well.
Here we go.
Hello, I'm Clay Swallow, and I've played many different positions, corner and a lineman. Hello, my name is Eric Lonergan. I play 3 positions on my team. I'm running back, right linebacker, and middle linebacker.
Hi, my name is Daryl Crady, and I play fullback, which is a running back, and on defense I just play end.
I'm Cole Bush, and I'm the nose guard and center.
And you could come up, Stephen, too.
Hello, I am Stephen Crady, and these guys are a division called Pee Wee, and I'm Mighty Mite, and I'm 8 years old. And I play running back and tight end.
How many touchdowns did you get this year? Tell how many touchdowns. Go ahead.
23.
Anyway, so as you can see, they're all very excited about where they're at, and I don't know how long it's been since they've been to a championship game, but the whole team, all the parents are real excited, and so they are looking for a donation from the city council, and we'd appreciate anything that you're able to do for us.
And guys, you wanted to know when this is going to be rebroadcast. Any night next week at 7 o'clock, you can see yourself on TV.
Sounds
And before you leave, if you'd walk by the city council, I think we want to shake your hand on the way out. Congratulations on a great season so far, and good luck in Indianapolis, and then on to Michigan for a national championship. That would
Thank
be
you.
great.
Thank you all.
Dan?
Each one. Go around the front, Blake.
You may want to hang around for just a minute. Alderman Winger, do you have a motion you want to make?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to recommend a donation request for BWFCA for $500 in support of the Pop Warner Illinois State Champion Bandits Pee Wee and Junior Midget football teams.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the question? Roll call. Alderman Coles?
Thank you.
Yes.
Actually, she asked who did the second, so.
Second, yeah.
Got that. Roll call.
Alderman Lewis? Yes. Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman R. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Police?
Yes.
That passes. Good luck, guys. Have a great game.
Okay.
See you soon, Sue.
Well, that gangrene isn't with me?
He's their quarterback.
Almost a little better than the Bears, I think.
Unfortunately, I think they're a lot better than Bears, but they could probably beat the Bears, but that's another story. Going to item C. Council, I make the following appointments to the 2010 Prairie Fest Committee. Myself as chairman, Alderman Eugene Wesley, Alderman Nuncio Police, and Assistant City Manager Jeff Murmas. To the new Thorndale Development Corridor Committee to work with the Lakota Group, I appoint Alderman Joe Coles, I appoint Alderman John Cadella, and myself as an ex officio member. And to a new community development, Downtown Redevelopment Committee, I appoint Alderman Roy Wesley as chairman, Alderman John Cadella as vice chairperson, Giovanni Gullo, George of Gullo International, George Ellefson of Itasca Bank and Trust, Betty Pirshanovsky of Ugazdi Restaurant, Abdel Youssef as citizen representative, Wally Douthwaite as representative of the City of Wooddale, as well as Ross Clicker. And thank them for their agreement to serve in that spot. Want to remind everybody also under Mayor's report, this Saturday is the spaghetti dinner of Troop 65 at Holy Ghost, and that will be from 4 to 7 p.m. Again, that's this Saturday, Troop 65, Holy Ghost spaghetti dinner. Also under Mayor's report, I want to thank Alderman Shockey and his wife Ronnie for representing the City of Wooddale at the County Board final budget hearing. I understand that the check is in the mail, hopefully. Did either of you want to say any words about that? I didn't give you a heads up I was doing this, so Alderman Shockey?
Yeah, you didn't give us a heads up. I would have asked you to hold off till next week because This was the last meeting they had before the final vote on the budget, so nothing's in concrete yet. So we can't really say, I'd rather not say anything until we know for sure.
But thank you for the effort you and the Stormwater Committee have made so far. Also, in their mayor's report, I want to announce the Ward 4 meeting, which will be December 2nd, 2009, 7 p.m. at City Hall. The public is invited, and I believe refreshments are being served by Christie's Restaurant, and we thank them for that donation. Also, under Mayor's report, Mr. Forrest's birthday is today. The gentleman in green sitting out there. I won't say what number that is today, but Mr. Douthwaite just said that starts with a 6. We're going to ruin his reputation in the community, but congratulations to Mr. Forrest, and thank you for the job you do for the city as well. Also under Mayor's report, not as pleasant as some of the things that we have done so far. On Veterans Day, I happened to have breakfast with Bill Mayo, who served on the county board for a number of years and currently serves on the DuPage County Water Commission. And after breakfast was over, he called me on the side and he said, just want you to know that there may be some substantial problems with the DuPage Water Commission, some very significant financial problems. Instead of having $70 million in the black, they may be $40 million in the red. Obviously, that means for our residents that may be very significant water rate increases coming down the pike very quickly. My first call was to the city manager to give him a heads up. My second call was to Mayor Hartwig, who is our representative on the DuPage Water Commission. And my third call was the DuPage and Mayors and Managers Association to alert them as to the problems that the Water Commission is facing, give a heads up to all the mayors in DuPage County. Thereafter, Mr. Douthwaite directed our finance director to go to the emergency meeting which was held last night of the DuPage Water Commission, and we have a briefing that we would like to give you at this time. You will probably be hearing about this in the papers shortly, so this is a heads up, and we do have some sheets we want to pass out as well. And that's not the DuPage Water Commission.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. Also, thank you to Pete for passing out the PowerPoint presentation to everybody tonight. As the Mayor mentioned, there was an emergency meeting last night of the DuPage Water Commission. It was actually a meeting from last Thursday, which is our normal meeting night, that they adjourned to this Wednesday due to the gravity of what they heard the previous Thursday. To try and get their heads around it a little bit, they adjourned the meeting to give them all some time to absorb what they had heard and then to also game plan a little bit. So with that, it was kind of a pretty sobering meeting as far as meetings go. But just want to give you guys an overview of what was discussed, and then we're going to follow up as we can as their meetings continue. But first, just some background information, where we get our water from. As I'm sure you're aware, we get our water from the city of Chicago, and the water for pretty much all the city of Chicago and the DuPage Water Commission is processed through the Jardine Water Purification Plant. As you'll see there, it's the largest plant in the world for potable water. A little bit of flow chart here. The Lake Michigan City of Chicago, that is an actual aerial photo of the Jardine Water Plant where we get our water from. Going to the DuPage Water Commission, that is their administrative building, also where the water comes into them from Cook County. It goes from the commission then to us, and then from us to the residents and businesses of Wooddale. This is what we know so far about the rates, which has actually been built into the rate structure that you passed last summer. The rates will increase 15% as of right now, as of May 1st, 2010, and 14% in 2011. These rate increases assume that the City of Chicago does not raise its rates. I'm sure you've all been hearing about the City of Chicago and what they want to do with the water system. And then also that assumes that the DuPage Water Commission continues operating as they have been for a number of years. Okay.
Alderman Winger, why don't you wait for the entire presentation, then I'll open it up for questions.
Here's what's new with the DuPage Water Commission that the mayor mentioned briefly a minute ago. The Water Commission is in some pretty serious trouble at this point. Last night, the meeting started off with the staff recommendation to issue $30 million in short-term bonds, a short-term loan, to bridge them until the time they could go to the open market and issue $60 million worth of general obligation bonds. Of that 60, they would pay off the $30 million that they owed, and then also use that 30 for new capital and liquidity to continue operations. They went into executive session after item A on the agenda, and when we came back, they didn't vote on that because the recommendation was to see how bad the situation was, to see if they really need 30 million, do they only need 10 million, do they need more than that? So they put that on hold for the time being. What would $60 million in a bond issue do to our water rates? What was floated last night was that the water rates would jump to at least $2.21, which is a 73-cent increase over our wholesale rate currently, or 49% jump in our cost to the water rates. If they were to remove the rate stabilization that they get from their percentage of the sales tax, the rates could go as high as $2.46, almost 2/3 above what we're paying right now. What they've done so far, last night at the meeting, they hired a financial management professional who was a former partner at Deloitte & Touche. The CFO for the Water Commission resigned, I believe it was approximately a month ago. They've been hiring, the ad's been posted for some time. The resumes were due November 30th with interviews scheduled on the 7th and 8th of December. They made a motion to direct staff to put that on hold until they get their house in order so that the new person can come in with a clean slate and clear direction. They also motioned to retain Jenner & Block as special legal counsel through the process. And Jenner & Block is then going to retain Crowe Horwath, formerly Crowe Chiswick, as special auditors to come in, and the likelihood of a 1 to 2 year complete forensic audit of the commission is very likely at this point. What we don't know, nobody knows what happened or how this came to be. So that's the goal of the special financial team that they hired, Jenner & Block and the special auditors, is to find out what the actual depth of the problem is, how it happened, and then put safeguards and policies and procedures in place to ensure it doesn't happen again in the future. What do we do? At this point, as I mentioned earlier, the commission hasn't voted on any rate increases or any debt issuances that would result in rate increases. The commissioners and the member communities, we have to wait and see what the special management and special audit team finds, and once they realize the depth of the situation, then the commission will act, and then we'll know harder numbers at that point. They are going to be posting a special meeting schedule shortly. I'm going to be contacting them to get a copy of that so we can follow this as closely as we can. And the last point there, we'll continue to monitor the situation and report back to you as needed and as further information becomes available.
Alderman Winger?
Just clarification on the what we know slide near the beginning. And so are we saying that rates will increase by 15% May 1, 2010, and that increase is from the DWC to Wooddale, or is that from Wooddale to, or I'll just ask the question. What does that represent?
That actually represents the rate increase that the city of Chicago is charging the DuPage Water Commission, and then they're passing it along to the member communities, us and the other communities. And when we did the rate study and analysis last summer, we actually did account for these rate increases in those models that we put out there for you. So this isn't anything new.
I see.
So far as those two rates, we've already accounted for that.
And it assumes that Chicago will not raise in addition to what they've already set up as the 15%.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Wesley?
Mayor, this is just shocking tonight because they had a surplus at one time. A surplus. And if I ain't mistaken, they were offering to give the city back money because they had so much of surplus to offset some of the water rate. Am I right?
Correct. We did get some monies back from them about 2 years ago. And the way that was to be used was there was an intangible water rights purchase that most of that money went to pay off. It was more of an internal booking thing. But yes, they did refund pretty large sum of money to all the member communities. I believe it was 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago.
I'm just frustrated up here that they went from 700,000 to the good to 40,000 or whatever in the hole.
It's 70 million
Right, 70 million.
in the black, the 40 million
Right,
in the
man.
red.
Regardless, I just cannot believe that it went sour that quick. So my question to you is, does the municipals that gets the water, do we have a say in any of their decisions that they're going to be making on this? Or do we have a person that's in the city representing us with this problem here? Because I'll tell you one thing, I just can't believe they didn't send us a notice or anything that this was coming down the pipe like this.
I'm going to kick that back to the two gentlemen in the middle.
The Water Commission, I'll defer to Mr. Bond if I say something incorrectly, consists of 6 county board members, 1 from each county board district, and 6 mayors. Our representative from our county board district is Mayor Hartwig. He was one of the first calls I made to alert him as to this problem, but for some reason, they didn't catch it. I think they were relying on the audit reports, and the auditors didn't catch it, and now we have to deal with the consequences.
So more or less, our taxpayers that pay us for taxes to monitor our money going to have to get a huge increase now because some organization here just blew it. And we don't have a say-so in there. And who are the 6 representatives on the county? Who are they that represents us?
I'm going to try and do as best I can. I know Mr. Mayo, who the mayor mentioned previously. County Board Member Zay is on there from the Carroll Stream District.
Well, you know what, Brad, since you don't know, I would like a list of all those members that are supposed to represent us on a county board, because I cannot believe that they didn't know about this sooner and drop it like this. It's amazing.
We can get that to you in the packet.
Yeah, it's on their website, so we can print that out for you, certainly.
Alderman Coles?
I just have one question. We gave $75 million of this away to DuPage County because they needed the money. Well, why can't we get that $75 million back that we gave DuPage County? Why can't we get it back now?
Well,
from them.
let me correct you on that. We didn't give the county 75 million. They went to the Springfield and they changed the law that they grabbed 75 million.
They took-
The
they took-
cities,
they took-
all the municipalities very aggressively opposed that.
I know.
But even after that was gone, there was supposed to be another 70 million surplus.
That's right, but I can't understand how nobody could see it. Nobody could see it.
Any other comments or questions? Mr. Wilson has been assigned by Mr. Douthwaite to continue to monitor the situation, and we will keep you informed. That completes Mayor's report and brings us back to citizen communications and petitions. Do any citizens wish to address the City Council this evening? If so, if you go to the podium and give us your name and address, please.
Frank Moran. I live in Royal Oaks at 473 Knollwood Drive. I'm here tonight to extend a large thank you to Mr. Dave Graff, the city engineer. Also, Mrs. Oberly, city engineer, that were on the job during the resurfacing of the Royal Oak streets. And I'd like to thank them directly for their expertise in reviewing the streets as they did. Ingrid Oberly is her name. And also I'd like to appreciate the city council for reviewing the Royal Oak streets, yourselves, the mayor. And particularly like to thank our aldermen, Mr. Nunzio and Mr. Colts, Joe, for taking a real interest in Royal Oaks and verifying that the streets needed to be repaired and looked at. And I appreciate the contractor that the city of Wooddale hired, R.W. Dunneman, Mr. Jeffrey Dunneman. I worked with him and his crew. They were very professional in handling that job. They had a base that was iffy, and they did their best to, I guess, work with the city to fix the problems that were out there. And I appreciated their work. I worked with them the whole time that they were there, the 3 days. And I looked on as the city engineers looked on the project. And I thought it was something I should do as the grounds director of Royal Oaks in person, to express my many thanks to all the people in the city of Wooddale who worked on this project. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Moran. Does anyone else wish to address the city council this evening? If not, I have 2 written communiques. One is Mrs. Schultz, from a Mrs. Schultz of West School Street, sent us an email to say how pleased she was and her husband are with the School Street project. They've lived there for 40 years, and it is a delight to see a country road transformed into a city street in a matter of weeks. Not a long time to see such terrific results. Wanted to commend the city for a job well done. She knows the project may have taken longer than some had hoped, but they're very pleased with the results. She had wanted to attend the meeting tonight, but is babysitting in Aurora and cannot make it. She asked that the message be passed along to the city council. And I have a letter addressed to Dear Mayor Johnson and friends in Wooddale. On behalf of all the staff of Maple Meadows, we want to extend to you a heartwarming and sincere thank you. It was your support and dedication to the community of Wooddale that helped keep Maple Meadows open for the winter months. Our restaurant at Maple Meadows Golf Course will now be open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for lunch, and on Friday evening for our delicious dinners and fish fry. Come in and join us and make this your home. Let it be your place in Wooddale to visit with family and friends while enjoying home-cooked meals. We are so proud to be a part of the Wooddale community, where we're all striving for the same goal of uniting to make our city grow and prosper to be the best ever. Signed by the Maple Meadows staff. And that brings us to the manager's report. Mr. Douthwaite?
One item, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me. As you know, we've canceled next week's committee meeting because of the Thanksgiving holidays. If there were to be nothing that is held over on tonight's meeting, given the fact there's not a committee meeting, it would probably be appropriate to cancel the meeting of December 3rd as well, given that there won't be anything on the agenda. However, we met today with our consulting engineers on the grade separation project, and after some discussion, we thought it was probably appropriate to schedule a joint City Council Park District meeting tentatively set for December 3rd to go over the progress on the grade separation project and make sure that both governing bodies, the council and the Park District Board, are on the same page and continue to support that grade separation. So if you want to pencil that in for December 3rd, if we can get the Park District to sign off in the next day or so, we'll schedule a joint meeting on Thursday the 3rd. If not, and if there's not anything that'll be held off or held over for tonight's meeting, we probably won't need a meeting on December 3rd, and we'll keep you informed on that. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, that brings us to the consent agenda. Is there any objections to any of the items on the consent agenda?
Item number 6, Mayor.
That'll be removed. May I have a motion to approve the agenda being items 1 through 5? Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now may I have a motion to approve the items on the agenda being approval of fiscal year 2009 audit report, approval to release planning of the Sounds and Summer Concert Series to the Wooddale Park District with us cost sharing not to exceed $2,000. Approval of pay request number 6, final for Special Service Area 13. Approval of pay request 4, partial School Street reconstruction. Approval of pay request number 1, partial for Stoneham Street water main. Is there such a motion? Is there a second? Second. Roll call.
Alderman Lewitton?
Yes.
Alderman Shockey?
Yes.
Alderman R. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Winger?
Yes.
Alderman Coles?
Yes.
Alderman E. Wesley?
Yes.
Alderman Police?
Yes.
Those items are approved. That brings us to committee, and item 6 will be taken up under other business. That brings us to committee chairman reports, planning, zoning, and building. Alderman Lewitton.
Mayor, there's no report tonight.
Thank you. Public health, safety, and judiciary, Alderman Shockey.
No report.
Public works, Alderman Wesley.
I have one report, Mayor. Approval of pay request number 1, partial